In heavyweight boxing, the line between genius and disaster is razor thin, measured in milliseconds and millimeters. Under the lights, with the world watching, reputations are carved, myths are shattered, and sometimes, one punch rewrites history. On one side, Alexander Usyk, the Ukrainian maestro, a man who turns violence into art, a fighter who floats, calculates, breaks you down without ever raising his voice. On the other, Daniel Dubois, the British juggernaut with dynamite in both hands, a man who's tasted humiliation, rebuilt himself, and now stalks the throne with a storm brewing behind his calm exterior. This is more than a rematch. It's a referendum on truth, legacy, and the soul of the heavyweight division, because what happened in Poland didn't settle the score. So now, we run it back. Their first encounter wasn't supposed to be controversial. Usyk was the heavy favorite, undefeated, unified, a master technician coming off back-to-back wins against Anthony Joshua. And Dubois, a dangerous puncher, but many felt he was out of his league. Then came round 5. Dubois dug a shot to the midsection and Usyk collapsed. The ref called it low. Usyk got time to recover, and when the fight resumed, the Ukrainian regrouped, took over, and stopped Dubois in the 9th. But boxing fans didn't let it go. Replays flooded timelines. Was it low? Was it legal? Did Dubois knock the champ down fair and square? You could feel the unease in the result, and Dubois felt it too. This rematch? It's not just for belts, it's for clarity. Alexander Usyk isn't just a boxer, he's a master of the craft, a living testament to what happens when talent meets obsession and hardship forces genius. Born in Simferopol, Crimea, in the shadow of uncertainty and the echoes of Soviet collapse, Usyk was raised in an environment where nothing came easy. His family knew struggle. He learned early that in Ukraine, grit is currency and resilience is survival. The boxing gym became his sanctuary, a place where discipline wasn't just taught, it was demanded. From the start, Usyk stood out, but not because he was the biggest or the strongest, but because he was different. He absorbed the lessons of the Ukrainian school of boxing, an education in footwork, angles, and the art of making your opponent miss by centimeters, not miles. He watched Lomachenko's father train his son and took notes. He idolized greats, but never tried to copy them. Usyk's style was always his own, a blend of ballet and brutality, chess and chaos. Before the world knew his name, he was already a terror in the amateurs. He racked up wins, traveled the world, and brought home an Olympic gold medal from London 2012. That medal wasn't just a trophy, it was a passport to the professional ranks, a signal that a new force was coming. But Usyk didn't want to just be another Olympic champion turned pro. He wanted to do what few dared, clean out an entire division. At cruiserweight, he did exactly that. He didn't just win, he dominated. He went undisputed, collecting every major belt like it was just another to-do on his list. He won the World Boxing Super Series, beat champions in their own backyards, and made the 200-pound division his personal playground. He made it look easy, but it was anything but. Every fight was a test, every camp a grind, every victory a step closer to something bigger. But Usyk wasn't finished. The giants awaited. They told him he was too small for heavyweight, too reliant on movement in a division that rewards mass and menace. They said his dancing feet and quick hands wouldn't matter when a 250-pound man landed flush. Usyk listened. Then he laced up his boots, put on the extra pounds, and climbed into the land of giants. His heavyweight debut was a statement of intent. Against Chaz Witherspoon, he showed he could handle the size. Against Derek Chisora, he proved he could take the heat, absorbing pressure, weathering the storm, and then taking over with skill and stamina. But the real test was Anthony Joshua, the British superstar with Olympic gold of his own, the man who ruled the division with a blend of size, strength, and athleticism. Usyk didn't just beat Joshua, he outclassed him, on foreign soil, under the brightest lights, with every advantage stacked against him. He didn't just win a decision, he rearranged the way Joshua thought about boxing. He made a champion look lost, made the crowd gasp with every angle, every feint, every punch that landed before Joshua could even react. And then for good measure, he did it again in the rematch, this time with even more pressure, with even more on the line. Usyk's style is liquid. He's a southpaw, but not in the traditional sense. His rhythm is unorthodox, impossible to time. He bounces, circles, darts in and out, always feinting, always making his opponent guess. His jab isn't just a rangefinder, it's a scalpel, poking and stinging. setting up combinations that come from odd angles. His footwork is a masterclass in geometry. His defense, a lesson in anticipation. He's always seeing 2 or 3 moves ahead, reading reactions, manipulating distance, and dictating the terms of engagement. He doesn't just win fights, he rearranges how his opponents think. He makes them doubt themselves, question their game plan, and ultimately, question their own abilities. He's a mental assassin as much as a physical one. By the time you realize what's happening, you're already behind on the cards, chasing shadows, swinging at air. And now at 38, after years of chasing greatness, after wars in the ring and sacrifices outside it, Usyk stands at the edge of one last question. Can the artist withstand the storm one more time? Can he defy age, defy the odds, and prove once again that skill, intelligence, and heart can conquer youth, size, and raw power? He's not just fighting for belts or paydays. He's fighting for legacy, for history, for the right to be mentioned amongst the greatest to ever do it. The world will be watching, waiting to see if the master can paint one more masterpiece, or if, finally, the storm will wash it all away. If Alexander Usyk is the ballet dancer with bricks in his gloves, then Daniel Dubois is the sledgehammer dipped in gasoline. A force of nature, raw and relentless, with a hunger that burns hotter than most can endure. Born and raised in London, Dubois exploded onto the professional scene like a thunderclap. His knockout streak was the stuff of legend. Fight after fight ended in the first or second round. His fast hands and broad shoulders combining to deliver a right hand that sounded like a gunshot blast echoing through arenas. He was the future of British boxing, a golden boy with the kind of power that could change the course of a fight with a single punch. Fans and pundits alike saw in him the great next heavyweight star, a man destined to carry the torch for a new generation. The city buzzed with anticipation, and the world watched as he tore through opponents with frightening ease. But then came the night that changed everything. Under the bright lights against Joe Joyce, a fellow British heavyweight known for his iron chin and relentless pressure, Dubois faced his toughest test. The fight was brutal. The pressure mounted. His eye began to swell shut, vision clouded, pain mounting with every jab and hook. In the 10th round, a moment of hesitation. A knee touched the canvas. Dubois didn't get up. Critics were merciless. They called him a quitter, questioned his heart, and cast doubt on his future. Was he really the unstoppable force he seemed? Was the knockout streak a mirage? Harsh? Maybe. But in boxing, perception is as powerful as any punch. That night, Dubois' aura cracked. He disappeared from the main stage, retreating from the spotlight. But he didn't fold. Instead, he embarked on a journey of reinvention. He changed his team, bringing in new trainers who emphasized technique over brute force. He got leaner, shedding excess weight to improve his stamina and speed. He became meaner, sharpening his focus and discipline. He learned to measure his aggression, to pick his moments, to fight smarter. And then shockingly, he returned, not as the reckless knockout artist of old, but as a more complete fighter. He put together a string of impressive wins over Jarrell Miller, a dangerous and experienced contender, Filip Hrgovic, a rising European star, and in a stunning upset, Anthony Joshua, the former heavyweight champion and one of the biggest names in the sport. That victory flipped the division upside down. The kid who was doubted had become a man with gold on his shoulder and a chip the size of London on it. Dubois doesn't just want to beat Usyk. He wants more than a win. He wants revenge for the doubts, the criticism, the heartbreak. He wants respect from fans, from critics, from the boxing world. He wants redemption, the chance to rewrite his story and prove that he belongs at the top. On July 12th, when the bell rings, Dubois will bring all that fire into the ring. He's not just fighting for a title, he's fighting for his legacy. And make no mistake, the lion is hungry. This is the classic fight we always crave: finesse versus force, rhythm versus rupture. Usyk wants to make it a painting. He'll control distance, land flickering combinations, frustrate Dubois with footwork and feints, and pick him apart while staying one step ahead. Dubois wants carnage. He wants to cut off the ring, force Usyk into corners and punish the body until the artist becomes ordinary. Usyk thrives in the center. Dubois thrives when you can't run. Usyk's footwork is surgical. He'll pivot out, bait a right hand, then punish the miss. Dubois, he wants that one opening, that one mistake, and when he finds it, he doesn't miss twice. Neither can afford to blink. Now let's get surgical. Usyk's jab isn't just a rangefinder. It's an irritant. It breaks rhythm, sets traps, and disrupts breathing. Dubois uses his jab as a power tool, backing opponents up, measuring for the right hand. Bodywork is where Dubois needs to live. Legal, relentless, and calculated body shots. Not one and done. He needs to make Usyk feel him from round one. No one in the heavyweight division moves like Usyk. If Dubois doesn't cut the ring, he'll be chasing shadows and eating shots all night. Dubois doesn't just punch hard, he punches through. If he lands clean, especially early, we could see history shift. Usyk parries and slips like a welterweight. Dubois shells up and absorbs. The more he misses, the more tired he gets. Usyk's gas tank is built for marathons. Dubois has improved, but if this goes deep, fatigue favors the maestro. Usyk thrives in the eye of the storm. He grins at chaos, cracks jokes at press conferences, and dances his way to the ring. All subtle weapons in his arsenal of mind games. He's never rattled, never out of control, and his calm unnerves opponents before a punch is even thrown. For Dubois, the challenge is to remain ice cold, locked in, unshaken, refusing to let Usyk's antics get under his skin. If he lets the champion dictate the mental tempo, he's already a step behind. On paper, Dubois holds the physical edge. He's the true heavyweight, taller, broader, heavier. But size alone doesn't win fights at this level. The question is whether Dubois can turn his bulk into a weapon, imposing his will without getting tangled in Usyk's web of movement, feints, and angles. Usyk has made a career out of neutralizing bigger men. Dubois must prove he's not just bigger, but smarter and more adaptable. Usyk is 38, a veteran of countless wars and grueling training camps. He's carried his body through divisions and into the fire again and again. Is this the night when time finally catches up? Are his reflexes still sharp enough to slip Dubois' thunder? Or does Father Time make a surprise appearance under the bright lights? Dubois enters with a chip on his shoulder and a score to settle. He's convinced he knocked Usyk down clean in their last meeting, and he believes the moment was stolen from him. That sense of injustice, that burning desire for redemption could be his greatest weapon. If he channels that fire into focus and ferocity, it could turn the fight, or it could consume him if things don't go his way. In a bout where every edge matters, these intangibles could tip the balance and decide who walks away with history on their side. For Usyk, a win here doesn't just solidify his spot in history, it launches him into the rarest air in boxing. He will stand as a two-division undisputed champion, a chess master who not only conquered cruiserweight, but also tamed the lions of heavyweight. His name would echo alongside the all-time greats, proof that skill, intelligence, and heart can outshine brute force and size. With another victory, Usyk becomes more than a champion. He becomes a legend, a blueprint for the next generation, the man who rewrote what was possible in the land of giants. For Dubois, this night is everything. This is the razor's edge between a highlight and a headliner, between being remembered for a stumble or celebrated for a triumph. If he wins, he doesn't just claim the belts, he claims his redemption. He transforms from the fighter who was doubted, who was questioned, into the man who slayed the master. He goes from being a footnote in someone else's story to writing his own chapter at the top of the sport. But if he loses, the whispers return. The doubts about Joyce, about Usyk, and whether he ever really belonged among the elite. The questions grow louder. Does he have the heart, the chin, the pedigree? For Dubois, the stakes are nothing less than his boxing identity. This is the kind of fight that defines a career, for better or for worse. Wembley is going to be electric. Ukrainian flags on one side, British chants on the other. Fireworks, smoke, national pride in every corner. Usyk's seen it before. He's walked into enemy territory and made it his own. But Dubois is fighting at home, and this time the crowd is with him. And that matters, not in the first round, but maybe in the 10th, when legs get heavy and doubt creeps in. But let's be honest, this fight is a powder keg of possibilities, and every outcome feels within reach. Scenario 1. Usyk turns the ring into his canvas. He moves with grace, precision, and control, dictating the pace, picking his shots, and frustrating Dubois at every turn. No wild exchanges, no drama, just pure unadulterated brilliance. When the final bell rings, the judges have no choice but to reward the masterclass with a wide decision victory. Scenario 2. Dubois charges through the storm like a man possessed. He absorbs the punishment, digs deep and lands a thunderous body shot that shakes Usyk to his core. The crowd gasps as the champion falters, unable to recover. The arena erupts as Dubois claims a shocking career-defining knockout, proof that power can reach. Neither man backs down. Both get rocked. Both taste adversity. The fight turns into a brutal war of attrition, where heart and willpower become the deciding factors. It's a battle of giants, a test of who can dig deeper, fight harder, and refuse to quit when everything is on the line. Any of these scenarios could play out. That's exactly why this fight crackled with electricity. The unpredictability is real. The stakes, sky high. And the drama will keep fans on the edge of their seats from the first bell to the last. At the end of the day, this is what boxing is all about. Two men, one ring, everything to gain, everything to lose. Usyk, legacy, technique, mastery. Dubois, power, passion, revenge. It's not just about who's better. It's about who breaks first, who adapts, who shows up when it gets ugly, and who lands the punch that changes everything. So what do you think? Will Usyk cement his name alongside the greats, or does Dubois finally take what's his and leave no doubts this time? Drop your predictions in the comments, like, share, and subscribe to the Knockout Nest for more deep dive breakdowns, cinematic previews, and all the drama that makes boxing the best show on earth. Because in this game, the next great story is always one punch away.